Toasty here from Games with Toasty, and today we are playing Fast Strikers on the PS5. This game's actually a PS4 game, but of course you can play it on your PS5, but was actually originally released on the Neo-Geo and Dreamcast way back in 2010. Now the aged among you will realise that this doesn't look like a game from 2010. This looks like a game from roughly the 90s, and that's because it basically is. The developers, NGDEV, are specialists at making 90s games in the modern era, and their graphical style is spot on to what you would find in arcades of that time. So what I've got here is a wonderfully chunky looking game with some surprisingly detailed animations in a style you simply don't get anymore. Normally you would get a style that's in a 8-bit or 16-bit sort of like inspiration. You don't often get an inspiration from this era of games, so it's nice to see that representation. Now this mini boss here, you can kill him, but on this run and most runs I do, I choose not to, simply because I want to conserve the impact shield. You get your impact shields from death, so you start 2 with every life, but you can also find 1 or 2 per stage by killing those little floating blue astronauts. They're fairly rare and incredibly valuable, and like I said, you can kill that mini boss if you kill him early enough using the impact shield to ignore a lot of his damage and just getting straight into his face. But to me that isn't a good use of your resources, so I skip it entirely almost every single time. Now those 4 bullets bursts are quite easy to get past, and the biggest danger was those little popcorn enemies who popped up to try and ambush you. And as you can see, this is the little blue guy here, so if you kill this little blue dude, he should drop a shield, but he died off screen, so we don't get a shield, so that's a bit of a shame. Now what we're trying to do here is we're trying to do a 1cc run, so we're trying to do this without continuing. We should have a total of about 5 lives, providing that we survive long enough and get decent enough scores, and of course I get punched in the face. That is the second time that's happened ever, and it seems to happen exclusively when I'm trying to record this gameplay. Normally this boss just dies that fight, but apparently the stage fright causes us to die, or at least get hit by that guy every time. An interesting feature of Fast Striker is that when you get hit, providing you have shields in your inventory, you don't lose a life. You instead just burn every shield in your stockpile. This is of course not a fantastic thing to do. What you want to do is manually activate them. So being aware of the dangers and managing the risk appropriately is the best way to go forward. But the game doesn't punish you by murdering you if you do make a mistake. It just punishes you in a almost equally punishing manner. Now, stage 2 is a lot like stage 1. There's just more enemies, there's more bullets, and the patterns are a bit more intense, but there's not much in terms of radical departure or changes in gameplay or stage layout. One of the most interesting features is that these blue guys, from about the halfway point in this stage, start to become much more difficult to collect safely. They start to place the blue guys just before or during an encounter with a difficult enemy, or with a especially threatening wave of enemies. So you've got to manage killing the blue guy and also not getting murdered by the onslaught of bullets that'll be inevitably heading your way. And we saw that a little bit of that before, and the next little whirly-majig here that we find will actually have a blue guy and then 2 of them, and those whirly-majigs are quite difficult to take down because they just spray bullets in a way that's very reminiscent of a bullet hell. So here we go, yeah, there's a blue guy, and here comes the whirly-majigs. And we didn't get the kill, which is really frustrating. So we're still a shield down. We're going to activate a shield there to break through that. So yeah, we've wasted the shield, but it was better than taking a hit. And we've got them both. So yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have gotten the shield from the blue dude, but we'll take what we can. This run is not set in stone. We haven't died yet, and this boss will probably take a life from her. I get quite cocky with him. Normally he's not that difficult, and that usually results in him taking a life from us because of my arrogance. But we did the first phase pretty well. The second phase is much more difficult because this pattern is just the worst. Obviously, people who are bullet hell fanatics will find that really easy, especially on this difficulty. But for my current skill level, that is quite the threat. But yeah, we've got hit there, so we've lost up all of our shields. Hopefully we can get through without taking a hit. He's almost dead. Come on. There we go. Yeah, so we lost our shields, but we managed to kill him before we died, and our shields will therefore replenish at the start of the next stage. And because we didn't die, we've got a very hefty no-miss bonus, which gives us a massive bonus in score, which means we just got an extend there. So an extend is where you get a bonus life, and providing you don't die in the first 2 stages, you are almost guaranteed to get your first extend right at the start of stage 3, which is what happened here. There is another opportunity to get an extend via pickup in stage 4, and you should also get your last extend via actual score somewhere in stage 5. So providing we don't die, we should be okay. Those guys are annoying. You can fight them, but there's not really any point. Just slipping through like that is a much more effective way. They can't shoot you from behind. Now this purple dude is a pain in the ass. He's a recurring enemy who gets more difficult the more times you actually fight him. So that's his most simplest variant, where he just fires the little blue waves and he goes down without a fight. In other encounters in this stage, here he comes again, he'll throw a more difficult pattern. Not in this one specifically. Ah, there we go. Yeah, so he started to do that. He started to throw out red bullets as well. And here we go. Blue dude, whilst also fighting a purple guy, is a common theme in this stage. We got through there just by taking a hit. So yeah, like I said from before, they're going to start throwing those blue guys with threats, and in this stage, those purple dudes are usually the threat they're going to use to make the blue guy more difficult. These popcorns are very dangerous. They can easily take a life because they rapidly move to the side to engage you and fire in a few directions. And especially here. Right, so I've got to pop a shield. I cannot get that timing down. Every time I try, I've got another one here, I get hit by the lasers. So we lost a shield, but we lost actually 2 shields there. But we'll try and get one back at least, which we did. You know, just be careful here because of the red bullets, and we got through. So this wasn't the smoothest stage I've done for stage 3, but we've ended it with 3 lives and 2 shields. And this boss is a pain. He's the first boss that properly moves around, and he will attack you from every angle, and that is much more difficult than you might imagine, and we've lost our shields there. So enemies that attack from behind and from the sides are way more difficult than enemies that attack from the front, simply because you're not used to it. You haven't gotten the muscle memory to deal with that kind of threat, especially after, like, say, 2 stages of fighting enemies head on. Getting bosses attacking from unorthodox angles is just a pain. If you kill these 3 starfish things, you actually get a tech bonus, and that tech bonus is ginormous. Which is ginormous when you score it in, so try and get that is ideal. Dodging these isn't that difficult, but apparently I suck, and I've died twice. Oh my god, I died twice. Right, yeah, so the stage 3 boss is kicked my ass, something rotten there. Killed her twice, but we did luckily get a life back. We should have 4 or 5 lives now, but we're on 2. So yeah, this run has went from being pretty guaranteed for a win to being much more up in the air. So I'm not fully convinced we'll get the 1cc here, but we'll see it through to the end nonetheless. Now these missiles are a pain in the ass, but more so are the enemies and the boxes. If you shoot the boxes, they do explode, and that makes dodging that area substantially more difficult. Thankfully we didn't die, we just lost both our shields, which puts us in a really bad situation. Hopefully we can get our shields back by killing that dude. And we do. Now in this stage, if we kill all of these little mini-boss pink guys, we will get an extra life. So we have to really focus on killing them, and ideally taking damage. Okay, maybe not. Right, there must be another thing. I think you've got to kill all the enemies in that general area or something. You can get an extra life there, but I'm not entirely sure how it spawns. I know it's a secret, and I always assumed it was just, it was based on killing those 3 dudes. Apparently not. So we lost all of our shields again, so we are in a really, really bad spot here. This run has went from a walk in the park to being pretty damn dangerous. We're doing terribly on stage 4. Thankfully there's only 5 stages in the game. But stage 5 is quite tricky, so having some extra lives would be nice. And not taking shield damage would be even better. Yeah, so if this is a 1cc, this will probably be the sloppiest 1cc you'll ever see in this game. After these little popcorn waves, the boss starts. And this boss is similar to boss 3 in the fact that it moves around. Not quite so sporadically. It has 3 phases. Wow, okay, that was a terrible start. It has 3 phases. And this is the first one, where it attacks you from the front and it'll start throwing all kinds at you. And it rapidly moves to the front here and start using your rear guns. You don't often need to use your rear guns on Novice, but this is one of those situations. Okay, we lost all of our shields. We're probably going to die on this boss. Yeah, there we go. Right, so this is our last chance. We've got 1 life to try and beat the whole game now. We're going to pop a shield here and just get him in his face. Right, so we're on our last life on stage 5. It's not looking too good. So stage 4 was a nightmare. We lost 3 lives, I think, on there. After losing 2 lives on stage 3, like, terrible start. And this guy's, that little blue dude's actually, you can't kill him. He is the boss though. He's the boss of this level. And I think if you damage him in the stage, that damage carries over into the actual fight itself. Because I always found that that boss dies surprisingly quickly. His defense seems very low, and I can only assume that's because he takes damage. But it just doesn't show in his life bar when you come to fight him. Right, so we need to be careful here. Oh man. Whew, okay, we got through there. If we were going to lose a life, then that was one of the places that would have happened in. Right, so we'll blast these guys, those guys. Right. Now we encounter this kind of obstacle a couple times in this stage, and that's having these moving walls whilst also being attacked by enemies that can shoot through those walls, and who also, right, we'll just pop our shield and get through. We want to kill this blue guy to get that shield back. But we want to do so in a way that doesn't mess it up. But yeah, so I got it, and we'll get through here. And we're back to the maze of walls and bullets. So if anything, stage 5 is like the extension of stage 3 by having a large number, oh goddamn, having a large number of stage hazards and losing our shields. Ah no! Well, there we go. Yeah, so we massively messed up those last couple of stages. We'll continue, we'll get to the end, but this 1cc run is a total failure. That was stage 3, stage 4, absolutely terrible. And then yeah, losing our shields in a very silly way and then getting killed by an enemy running into her was just terrible play. You might think that Fast Striker is quite easy, even not easy. One of the issues with Fast Striker is that the controls are surprisingly sluggish almost. It feels a little bit strange to play, and that's, I feel like, it's just because of the actual controller. I don't think this issue existed on the Dreamcast and the Neo-Geo. I think it's an exclusive thing to the PS4 port. And yeah, we got through easily. So yeah, considering that we've completely just minced this boss without any hassle, had we not ran into that enemy, that would have been an easy 1cc. But unfortunately we had to drop the continue, and yeah, we ruggedly messed that stage up. But anyway, that is it from me today. That was a failed 1cc run at the last second, which honestly is a common occurrence for War Toasty. I consistently miss these 1cc's on everything from Crimson Clover to Caladrius Blaze. All kinds of shmups tend to kill us in that last hurdle. Although in this case it was much more down to my ineptitude on stage 3 and 4. Anyway, until next time, thanks for listening. Catch you later.